Hey, lovies. It is me, the Mrs. T, and we are here today for the next edition of Adjust and Adapt. I am super excited because I get to speak with my old radio buddy, Mr. Wade Fowler. He is here to tell us all about what is happening with Fowler's Southern Gourmet, I can speak, and their great comeback. At least that's what I'm calling it. I'm super excited to have them back and open and ready to take on business, and I'm sure the rest of you are too. So we are going to not delay any further, and we are going to welcome Wade into our stream really quick and let him begin to tell you what is going on. Hey, Wade.
Hey, good morning. It's good to be back on the air with you.
I know, it's so crazy. Like, it's been so long, but it's just a familiar place, so I'm loving it. If you guys can see, we're both sporting our Fowlers t-shirts.
I've got the new version.
Yes, I was gonna say I have the old version. Wade has a brand new version. And Wade, tell them how they can get one of those.
Well, actually, just contact me through Fowler Southern Gourmet on Facebook, and I can see about getting it for you. And this is the other version of it with the solid pig as well. So there's two choices there, and hopefully we'll be able to bring out some other bling like hats and stuff like that as it comes forward. And I want to thank Attention Inc. On Cliffdale Road in Fayetteville. They did a fabulous job. I don't know if anybody's aware of what they did, but for small businesses like ours, they said, hey, if you give us a logo, we'll print shirts, and they charge from online, and they gave us the proceeds basically above their costs on getting it done to help us survive through this time. And so it's been very helpful for us because I still had some bills I needed to pay, and I was wondering where the revenue was going to come from, and so they helped out. So Attention Inc. over on Cliffdale Road in Fayetteville did a great job, and so I'll be looking at them doing some more of these things for us. So
awesome. And I did see that floating around for a couple of other of our small businesses. And I think that was a really great way for them to use the resources they have to give back and to help support during those tough times.
The great thing for us, there was no risk in it for us. I mean, we just did it and posted it on our Facebook page. So it was great. Small companies helping small companies was great.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, and that's part of the whole Adjust and Adapt part. And if you guys, this is your first time tuning in for the Adjust and Adapt series, it's basically me spotlighting some of our small business owners and how they have adjusted and adapted throughout the COVID crisis. But for Fowlers, it hasn't so much been an adjust and adapt, but it's a comeback right now. Because Wade, explain why you guys actually had to close during the first set.
Okay, well, it is an adjust and adapt for us as well, because first of all, we were not designed to be a takeout business, and that's it was part of our business, but really the ambiance of the restaurant and the patio and all that stuff is part of what drew people in, and so even when you're doing that, it just basically our revenue dropped such that I couldn't afford to staff everything up and keep it going and running red ink. And so my thought was, let's go ahead and shut the restaurant down for now until we find out what's going to happen with this thing and minimize the expenses so there's not a lot going out. And I've got a great landlord who worked with us. And so just decided, let's wait and see how we can restructure and what we need to do to open up so that we can make a go of this thing when things allow us to. And so started working through some things, possibly some different things to do on the menu and things like that, and then had to reduce the staff a little bit, unfortunately, for the long run. But we've about got it worked out where we can. And I was planning to open last week, or actually earlier this week, but in the meantime, my walk-in cooler went down, and the replacement unit for it was supposed to be in last week, and it didn't come in. And now I'm told it won't be here until the 18th through the 20th. So that's why we're pushing the start back to. It'll either be May 26th or May 27th, depending on the arrival time on the cooler part.
And like you said, I think we were talking pre-show, like that's such a huge gap for them to give you. But I know that all of your Fowlers, the loyal Fowler followers, we don't even care. We're just happy to hear that you're coming back and happy to hear that you guys are doing this again. We have a quick comment from Matoya Scott. She said, hey guys, it's so good to see you too.
Hello, Matoya.
Matoya, it's so fun to be back on the air with Wade Fowler. I feel like we're missing a dad joke, though. Like, we haven't had a dad joke. What's going on, Wade?
No, well, I can tell you a funny meme that I saw on Facebook, though. You know,
okay,
there was actually a car driven into the like through the wall in a church building, and it said the pastor made a mistake at drive-in church and made an altar call.
It never fails that Wade gets me all the time.
That one, and then there was a submerged car and it said drive-in church works, but drive-in baptism not so sure. So
not so sure about that one. That might not be a good idea.
Yeah. And you were talking about the comeback. You were talking about the great comeback. I prefer to call it our Phoenix moment because with wood and barbecue you get ashes, so we're rising from the ashes and making a comeback. And we're looking at a couple of changes in how we do things, a couple of menu additions, probably there'll be a couple of menu subtractions. And the other thing people need to be aware of right now is that restaurants are having a struggle with the thing here. And I saw some stories about a couple of restaurants that, they got bad press, not from people that were in their town, but people elsewhere that saw a little comment about it. Mm-hmm. There are a couple of restaurants that had what they call a COVID surcharge on their bills. Well, if you're used to buying meat at, let's just say, $4 a pound, and now all of a sudden it's $6 a pound, if you're going to the grocery store as a customer and the price has changed, well, you pay it in your grocery bill. But if you see a restaurant change their prices because their meat costs go, you're like upset with them. And you shouldn't be upset with them because restaurants work on a thin profit margin. They really do. Trust me. I know. I can tell you about the red ink at mine, which is why we shut down. But rather than change their prices, they said, let's add a little surcharge because when the meat prices come back down, then we can go back to our regular prices. And some people didn't understand that and got irritated. But you just got to be aware that right now, particularly on meat, particularly beef and pork, apparently the prices, and I haven't looked a whole lot lately because we haven't been doing much, but the prices are up. And I did check the price on our beef that we normally get. I was just checking for what's coming up. It's gone up almost 50%.
Wow.
So those you can expect that there might be a little bit of a difference in the pricing because of that, but we're trying to keep things reasonable. I am going to be adding a few things to the menu, though. We're looking at adding chicken on the bone. We had some requests for that. We've always used the pulled chicken, mm-hmm. But I'm going to start out probably with leg quarters, so dark meat chicken on the bone as an additional item, and working on bringing in desserts.
Wow. So I'm excited for that. And as far as like the surcharge, I've also heard a few, I've seen hair salons say that they may have to do the same thing just to cover their costs for like PPE products and the disposable stuff that they have to do. And personally, as a consumer and a customer, especially for small local businesses, I understand it. Because like you said, your costs have increased just based on what's happening. Mm-hmm. And I know it's not like you're just trying to get more from me as a customer. I know it's that you're trying to survive. You're trying to adjust and adapt to a situation. And so I honestly don't think that anybody is going to be like, oh my God, Fowler went so high up on their prices.
If you see it a change, that's just not going to be much. It might be like 50 cents or $1, maybe something like that. It's not going to be huge. But the thing about it is that just the reality of it is you got to factor in your food costs as part of your bill. And when your food costs go up, if you don't go up, something's got to give. And obviously some customers will say can't afford it. Mm-hmm. Others will say it's no big deal. So we'll have to deal with what we have to deal with. And my promise to you is I always try to give you the best value I can for what we got. But let me talk to you about the desserts real quick. I've been working on a couple of things, and there's something else I'm working on too that I think you'll be excited about.
Okay, so are you giving me exclusives? Is this exclusive information?
Yeah, sure. Well, exclusive to you and everybody else who's watching.
You heard it here first, is what I'm saying. So let's hear it, Wade. What about these desserts?
I've been working on this one at home, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to bring it out at the restaurant. It's a buttermilk pound cake crusted with turbinado sugar.
What?
And then you can top it with a fresh berry compote or with my homemade caramel sauce.
Oh my goodness. And let me just jump in before you go further. I have tasted Wade's cooking firsthand. Like, I was lucky enough to receive an invitation, and let me tell you, it's not anything you want to miss. And if he starts dabbling in desserts, you want to be there to get your taste. And just your description of that alone sounds amazing. So when can people, are they going to see the new menu revealed slowly? Because I know you guys used to do where certain things were only available for a limited time type thing. Is that how it's going to happen still?
Yeah, I'm trying not to overload it, so we'll bring things in a little at a time. And it also gives you another reason to come back because there's something new, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing I'm working on a triple berry warm cobbler that we'll top with either whipped cream or ice cream. There is one thing that's going to be missing from the restaurant when you come in next time. The beer the beer on tap will be gone.
Okay.
And it's going to be replaced with a freezer so that I can have ice cream there. You know, because we're primarily a lunch business, and lunch does not lend itself to a lot of beer drinking. We will still continue to have beer, but it'll be in bottles or cans, but it won't be on tap.
Okay.
But also looking at possibly having some gourmet ice cream sandwiches as part of dessert available. Things like that. And then the other thing that I'm working on, I had to tell you the story behind it. I had a pork belly left over, a whole pork belly left over when we shut our doors. And what am I going to do with this pork belly? I can't save it until we reopen. So I thought, well, why don't I make bacon?
Oh my God. I saw your post about the homemade bacon, and I actually was like, homemade bacon? So tell us about that. How do you even do homemade bacon?
Well, you have to brine your bacon either with a dry brine, meaning just your whatever you're going to put on it, which always needs salt and sugar, and I use curing salt. Some people don't. I like to use the curing salt. It helps with the antimicrobial process a little bit better, and it keeps the pork looking pink. But some people don't like to say, I don't want the nitrites in my food. Understandable. But I prefer to go on the safe side, and it does give you additional benefit in holding down the microbes, which everybody seems to be worried about them these days. So keep that down. But the one I made two different styles. I made a dry brine that used the salt and sugar and the pepper and the curing salt. But then I did another one where I used smoked maple syrup for the sweetener.
Oh my goodness!
And let me tell you what, that was some kind of good. I mean, some kind of good. Both of them were really, really good. But so I'm probably going to ease that into the process too. That the bacon that we use at the restaurant will be made there at the restaurant.
That's amazing, and I think that's one of the things we've always loved most about Fowler. Your ketchup was made from scratch. Now you're adding in the whole bacon thing. Mm-hmm. So that's what makes you guys stand out from the rest, and it's kind of awesome.
Yeah, pretty much all our sauces are made by us. I mean, we make our own sweet sauce, our own tamarind-based sauce, sweet and tangy for our chicken, our jalapeno garlic sauce, our vinegar sauce. It's all made. The only one that we don't make that we set out there is because some people want Texas Pete, so we have that out there.
Okay. So the homemade bacon, when I saw you post about it, you said that you think you saw a BLT in the works. Is that what ended up happening with that?
Oh yeah. We made some BLTs, and they were really good. It was our neighbors down the street from us bake at least one loaf of bread fresh every day because they got a big family. Mm-hmm. And so I had an old greenhouse that I wasn't using anymore, and their oldest son is into gardening, so they came and picked up the greenhouse and they gave us a loaf of bread. And so that fresh homemade bread, we had the lettuce was grown in our garden in the back. The tomato I got from Gillis Farms, nice fresh tomato from Gillis Farms, and I made the bacon.
That's awesome. So, I'm planning on heading to Gillis Farms today. Actually, yeah. We're going to do a little strawberry picking and get a little bit of their homemade ice cream.
Well, by the way, I'm working, trying to work an arrangement with them for the ice cream at the restaurant to be from Gillis Farms. So,
oh my goodness, that would be awesome.
There's a lot of things we're working on trying to make it happen, and then also contemplating doing some. We did do some wine and dine events. Mm-hmm. The really super high fancy food and all the stuff with the wine and all that. Probably won't be bringing those back, but I am looking at bringing back some like barbecue and beer events at night. Depending on, and again, it all depends on what's allowed to be done.
Yeah.
Some ideas that are floating around in my brain, and don't hold me to these people. I'm just throwing them out there. If you like it, tell us you like it, whatever. But we're using. I'm looking at possibly one Friday night a month. Depends on how it goes, maybe two. Closing off a part of the parking lot. Having some additional tables outside, cleaning a little bit of tables out from the inside, and do like a Western theme night, and do a family style, all you can eat barbecue with ribs and brisket and chicken and pork and stuff. Do it as a ticketed event, just like we did the wine and dines. And then my idea of doing the first one is to do a Texas themed night. I'm going to have to talk to Jenny Bell, because there's one beer, and I can't remember what she mentioned, but one that I know when I was in Texas, the big beer that everybody liked was the Lone Star beer in the long neck bottles. So getting some Lone Star long necks and the other Texas beer, and then have people come dressed in Texas attire, play Western swing music. Basically, if the weather, it'd have to be on a night when the weather's going to be good. We got a pretty good idea that the forecast is going to be good. Have the chairs and tables and stuff outside for people to dine outside, but make the inside basically a dance floor, and and play Western swing music, and then have a contest. If whoever comes, have a couple of Texans be the judges, and then have people come wearing Western attire, and whoever gets the best outfit gets a $25 gift certificate to Fowlers on top of that. So
that's awesome. So it's like a good old country Texas, like almost like a barn party, but at Fowlers. I love that.
Yeah. And then in homage to North Carolina, in this area, do also possibly do a bluegrass and barbecue night for fun too. So.
Well, those sound like great ideas, and I'm almost positive. It's like when you did the wine and bites, it's probably going to sell out in moments, because I remember I never could get a ticket to that. I would see it and it'd be like, I'm going to go click on it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already gone and sold out or done. So
you had an in. You could always call me,
I know. You told me that. And I felt bad. Like I was trying to, I don't even know.
Yeah, but you're my radio partner. I could always make something work.
Thank you. We do have a quick comment from Emily St. John. She says, so excited to have you guys coming back. Emily, I think we all are. Like,
we're excited about coming back too.
Over the moon to have you guys come back. So I did want to talk about, you were saying before we went live that you stopped by the store today because you were working on some catering stuff. So just let everybody know, you said you do still have catering right now in a limited amount, right?
Yeah. If you give me enough heads up, I can cater probably up to 50, 60 people. If you're interested in that. And this happened to be somebody just said, hey, can you do some brisket? And right now, if you want brisket, I would have to do a whole brisket for you. So, that's the thing. And then this person said, wait a minute, let me check. Said, okay, I got enough people want to pitch in and do it. Yeah, let's do it. So I did a whole brisket for them. I'm going to be down there. I've been down there rearranging, and reorganizing how things are in there, and spending time up in the office and stuff like that. So I'm going to be down there anyway. It's no big deal for me to cook some brisket for people while we're at it and trying to get open.
That's awesome. And it's great that you can still do some stuff. We have Scott Stumbo, who is actually Alyssa Hennessy's dad. He said hi. I think they actually took a visit to you guys one time during one of their visits with Alyssa. Mm-hmm. So he's saying hi.
Yep. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, we
love Alyssa.
Everybody loves Alyssa. We're so happy just to hear that you guys are coming back. But I want to give you space to say anything else you might want to say in regards to like how things are going to change, even in addition to like staffing and stuff. You said you did have to minimize your staff just a bit, but the menu changes don't seem to be like ones we're going to be upset about. They all seem to be awesome and great additions to what we already love.
Yeah. There is, I'm going to try a couple of different things. I'll be looking at possibly some duck breast tacos, a little different things that we throw in there. And again, those will be special things that come in once in a while. I'm also going to look at the possibility of expanding the number of days that we'll do ribs.
Okay.
It's going to be kind of hard to expand the number of days that we do burn-ins because of the way you have to do to make them. So it'll probably still be the Thursdays or burn-in day. But I'm going to try to expand ribs if I can, say to Tuesdays as well as Wednesdays and Fridays. Just some different things like that are coming up. If you, I do have to go ahead and let you know, one of the things that will disappear from the menu is the brisket burger.
Okay.
That one, for a couple of reasons, but one of them is it requires a whole lot of extra work in a crowded kitchen, and so I think we're probably going to be dropping that out. But there'll be other things that come in. We may see some things like brisket chili, a variety of different things that will come in as well.
That's awesome. And like I said, I don't see any negative changes in the menu. It sounds like whatever may be being dropped is just being substituted with something even greater. So I think it's always going to be something that we can look forward to as part of Fowler's menu.
One of the things, by the way, Tiff, let me say, always for people, always let me know what you like to have. If it's something we can do and it fits into the menu, I'll try to make it fit and work in there. But it's one of the things we try to make sure our customers. But the one thing I promise you is I'm not going to put something on the menu that I can't put out this first rate. And it's not going to be slapdash. Take something that's frozen, heat it up, and say, "Boy, look what I did."
Exactly.
No, it's going to be as much as possible made from scratch.
And that's the thing about Fowlers. And that's the thing about a lot of our locally small owned restaurants and stuff. We know that you guys aren't going to substitute quality just to try to cut cost. And so I also going back to the whole COVID surcharge thing, I think that's why we're not going to frown at it or even blink at it for that much, because we know that it's so that you can maintain the quality that we've all come to love anyway.
Now, I want to give you an example. I had a friend of mine that was saying, why are you using the pork that you're using? Because it really is just about double the price of some other pork that we could buy, and so you can maintain your price. We're proud of it. But I've cooked both of them side by side. I literally did that one time. We cooked side by side because somebody wanted to. We were doing it for an organization that wanted just, they were actually going to do it anyway. So we cooked the lower price pork against our pork side by side. It was like, no, I'm sorry.
No,
people say, no, you can't tell the difference. Oh, yes, you can. And so just not going to put on that. Cheshire pork from Heritage Farms. That's the way to go, period.
Well, and I know just from being on the show with you with WIDU, you've always been a stickler for the type of product you get, whether it comes from, you're big on sourcing from North Carolina directly, and you're also big on picking exactly what you think and is going to be the best quality. So I want to talk a little bit about collaborations with other North Carolina, whether it be farms or meat providers or whatever it is that you use to make Fowlers what it is. Tell us a little bit about your collaborations.
Well, our biggest one in-house or in North Carolina is with Heritage Farms. They breed a heritage breed of pig called the Chester White Pig, and they don't shoot them full of steroids to get them to grow quickly and all that kind of stuff. They have I asked them one time, I wanted to go and see their operations to be able to take a little short video, kind of promote it out there. You can't get into where the hogs are unless you're wearing a clean suit and stuff. I mean, their operation, they are so much a stickler, and they're a family farm. They're owned by a family called the Ivies. The Ivy Brothers is the name of them. And for the longest time, they only shipped over to Japan, where they're, how the Japanese are real sticklers about their meat, and then they open up the market here in the States. So, and they're based out of Goldsboro. Been working with them, and we're going to collaborate with them. They're actually going to do it. I think they're going to come and actually do a short video with us at the restaurant. We've been promoting their stuff very well, and they've been in turn, promoting us through their stuff. So that's a great collaboration there. We've also done some work, and I'm trying to figure out how to expand it. We were doing it primarily in the wine and dines. But I'm going to see if there's a way we can do it, in the daily menu as well with another farm in North Carolina. called Joyce Farms. They're up near Winston-Salem, and they actually, we deal with them for chicken. They have a variety of things, but their chickens are, again, heritage breeds of chicken, bred for real flavor. And the first time we ever used them, their stuff came to the restaurant in a box, and it said, it was something like "Taste the flavor." And like, well,
wow.
I was like, and I met them at a food show. I went to a food show to see what was out there, and my food rep said, you need to stop by and see the people at Joyce Farms and taste their chicken. So I went there to taste their chicken. I'm like, hey, chicken's chicken, I mean, chicken. And then I tasted it and went, whoa, this is chicken. And so that's why we incorporated them into our dinner when we were doing dinners for a little while, when we did the fancy dinners. But I'm going to look at that again. There's a price point issue you got to deal with and see how to make that work. So, but that's another local one. We work with Spice Walla, which is a spice company out of Asheville. They do small batch spice preparation. So that's where we get our chili powder from, where we get our coriander from, where we get our cumin from. We get our mustard from there. And we actually now get a pork rub from them because they blend it better than we could. So, but it's all done fresh, small batch, just superbly aromatic spices. And I'd highly recommend anybody, if you like really good spices, look up Spice Walla. It's SPICEWALLA in Asheville. And I went up and saw their facility. And again, it's a place, everything where they do it, it's all in a super clean room with, almost like going into one of these ones where you see the people in the biology labs with all the clean gear on and all stuff. I mean, just super high quality. Then let's see who else is local that we're dealing with. We've done some stuff here, and I'm going to try to explore it a little bit more with Dunny Acre Farms here in the local area. She does microgreens and herbs. We'll also get our goat cheese from the Winston-Salem area too, from Goat Lady Farms. We use the goat cheese in our pimento cheese that we make. Instead of using cream cheese, we use goat cheese from Goat Lady Farm. And let's see who else. Gosh, there's some other stuff here, and it's just passing by my mind right now. But yeah, so that's what we're trying to do.
Well, that's awesome, Wade. And I think the fact that our small businesses can connect like that and try to support each other in those different ways. I did scroll most of the people that you mentioned, the chicken and the meat and the Spice Walla, and then Junie Acres is amazing. And it's so funny that you brought her up, Carrie. She's awesome. I'm actually going to have her on next week's show. So I'm excited to talk with her. And it's just really great to see that collaboration spirit moving through even during this time like this.
And the great thing she's doing too, she's got her young daughter working with her, learning about it and stuff. And I just think it's great. The families working together and building up and understanding about doing a business and teaching young kids. I think more kids need to learn where their food comes from.
Yeah,
it doesn't just come from the grocery store.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool.
And honestly, right now, I think because we've had so many shortages in the grocery store, people are starting to go back to our local farms. And the North Carolina agricultural, our whole community is huge. And I'm just so excited to see that a lot of people are realizing hey, that's a better source for us, especially now. So I'm just happy to see that transition over there like that.
Yeah. What's really cool is I'm sitting in my office right now I've got a big window and I can look down and see my garden behind the house. And then I've got another garden up at the front part of our property. And then a third garden back behind the storage shed there. So I've got 3 gardens going with all kinds of stuff growing in it. And just to let the folks know, it is probably about mid-June going to be, my blueberries are going to be coming up real full, and that'll be time for some more of that fresh blueberry hot sauce that we're known for.
Wow, I have never had that, but it is now officially on my list.
Oh, and I'm growing hot lemon peppers, pimento peppers, jalapeno peppers, habaneros, and Thai chili peppers as well. So that we'll be having a variety of hot sauces with fresh peppers as well.
Oh my goodness.
Summertime arrives.
I know a lot of us cannot wait. We have Michael Richards who said, whoop, whoop, finally, I need the Commander and cheese. I guess
that'll be coming back.
And is that is that a sandwich?
Yeah, it's a sandwich. It's brisket with cheese melted on top of it and our special barbecue sauce. And yeah, it's a good
So
sandwich.
so a lot of people in Fayetteville already have like their favorites, and it's just so super cool to have them call them out by name like that.
Yeah, I've had a number of people saying they miss the Angry Hawaiian. They need to get that back, so we'll be doing that too.
Awesome. So we do know that with COVID, we have phase 1 right now. Phase 2 reopenings are going to be announced sometime this coming week. But so once you guys open on the 26th, what are your plans for like adhering to whatever those guidelines are?
Well, if we're allowed to use the patio, we will. If we're allowed to use spacing inside the restaurant, we will. I've got some additional space to set of tables up outside if I need to. Then we'll, I'm going to go ahead. I just bought the plexiglass for it. I'll have plexiglass up in front of the check-in counter where you come in and pay the bill. And probably what I'll do too is adjust it so that you don't have to sign, with your fingertip to pay the bill, so that you don't have multiple touches of a screen that people can pick stuff up from. And if it does require it to be touched, obviously it'll be sanitized in between each touching. We'll have that up front. If they're requiring wearing masks, we'll be wearing masks. I'm hoping they don't require masks back in the cooking area because it's so tight and it's hot back there. I think that there's likelihood to be more problem with somebody wearing a mask than not, but they won't be in contact with, the customers. And it's not spread by being put on hot food, so I don't think we've got a problem there. We'll set the spacing the way it needs to be done. I mean, it's just the bottom line. You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and the reopening guidelines. I was telling you before we went live. You guys know I work at the WBC, and right now we're actually offering a free poster. It's over on the WBC Facebook page. All you have to do is register, and we will personally hand deliver it to every small business owner who wants it. It's going to be, I believe it's the long size posters.
Yeah.
We're trying to have it laminated, and basically you get to say like, okay, these are our requirements according to the guidelines for this phase reopening. Yes, we require masks. No, we don't require masks. We have sanitizer. So all of that is going to be an option for our small business owners.
Yeah, well, I already went ahead and ordered ahead extra bottles of sanitizer to have, pump bottles to have available, then we'll, and what people don't realize in the restaurant business, if you're doing it properly anyway, the bit with gloves, you're changing gloves all the time. I mean, we would probably go through 1,000 pairs of gloves a week.
Yeah, and even the picture I used of you to promote for today, I saw your gloves on, and so I know you guys already had set that standard in Fowlers.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about gloves, though, people got to understand,
you have to
gloves can pick up germs just like your hands can.
Yes.
You know, and I'll tell you truthfully, you're probably just as well off, or might even be better off, if people are washing their hands frequently there rather than wearing the gloves. The gloves give you a false sense of security. I remember going with my son, and we went to a Bojangles on the Maryland side of DC, because that was his favorite thing, was Bojangles. So it was okay. And there was a guy in there, a bald-headed guy, and he was sweating profusely and all this stuff, and he's wearing his gloves, and he just reached up and like that with his hand. And then I'm sitting there going, dude, the stuff will get on your gloves. So you just got to be real careful.
Yeah, and I watched like a video clip, and it was a nurse, and she was showing how gloves do give that false sense of security. So she put on a pair of gloves, and then she put on like some kind of liquid that would only be seen under a blue light. She went and touched stuff, and you could see like all the like it wasn't necessarily better. And she said the same thing you said, like washing your hands and keeping your hands sanitized may actually be a better look than the gloves themselves if you're not changing them often and changing them frequently.
Now, here's the thing: like when this first was at its height, we were having the big stuff. I wore gloves when I would go to a grocery store, to handle the cart. And then once I got back to the car, of course, I would not go to my face while I've got the gloves on. When I'm getting back to the car, then I take the gloves off so that they turn inside out.
Yes.
And throw them in the trash.
Yep.
Now my hands were kept clean from whatever could have been on the cart or anything I was touching, or the freezer door handles, the cooler door handles, anything that you would open and close in the grocery store. But that's the way to safely use it. If you're sitting there doing it and thinking, because I've got my gloves on, I'm safe, you're not absorbing it through your fingers. You're getting it through your eyes and through your mouth and your nose. You're not getting it through. You're not getting it through your, absorbing it through your skin. So if you know how to use gloves, they're great. If you don't know how to use gloves, they're dangerous.
Yeah, they are, because you can just increase the risk. Sweet Tea and Shakespeare actually just commented with a cool little a gift thing. It's a video, and he's like, I can't wait. So we know all the guys, the girls.
Hi, Jeremy.
Yes, it's probably Jeremy. I'm almost positive it's him. But they can't wait, and everybody is so excited for you to come back, Wade. And
well, I want to tell everybody thank you first of all for the great support you've shown. The t-shirt purchases. Wow. I mean, you guys blew it out of the water for us. We really appreciate that. When I posted that we were going to reopen, I was astounded. We went up to like 15,000 views. I was like, whoa. And then my cooler part didn't come in. I was like, oh no. I put my notice out. I put my notice out a day too early. They told me it was going to be in, and then it wasn't. So I apologize for that.
It's okay, because we're all hanging in there with you. And I do want to say to you, thank you for giving me the opportunity to have you on today. When you reached out and was like, hey, this is what's going to happen, and I was wondering if you, I'm like, what? Wondering? Of course I'm going to push that out there. Like, there was never any doubt or question. I'm super excited to see you guys come back. I was telling you, I spent like 15 minutes trying to find my Fowler shirt. Ended up, it was next to another pink shirt, and I was just like bypassing it over and over again. And I was like, oh my God. And my husband's like, what is wrong? And I'm like, I cannot find my Fowler shirt, and I need it today.
Well, by the way, thanks for posting. I see the thing scrolling along the bottom about how to find Spice Walla and some of these other places.
Yes, I tried to make sure I mentioned all the ones. I had Heritage Farms down there.
Yeah.
And then we have the Joyce Farms.
Mm-hmm.
So we do want you guys to go follow and support the people that are supporting some of our favorites. And these are some of those farms and those suppliers that we want to mention. And
if you like really good cheeses, check out Goat Lady.
Goat Lady. That's awesome. I love the name alone.
Yeah. They've got their stuff is super high quality.
And that's Goat Lady Dairy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make sure we give her a nice little scroll along the bottom as well. So we do want you guys to support them. And then we want you to also go support Fowlers. He's on Instagram as Fowlers Southern Gourmet, Facebook as the same. And spread that love. Take this video, take his post, and spread the love. Let everybody know that Fowlers is on his way back, and he's rising like a phoenix from the ashes of the barbecue. And that you guys have something to look forward to, because this Fowlers is like Fayetteville's own, and we can't wait to see you guys come back.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And so, guys, don't forget, we're on air every Saturday morning or Saturday evening. Just make sure you follow TiffanyHaywood.com on Facebook. That's facebook.com/thehaywood.com. And you will see the notifications. It will let you know when we're going to air, as well as who's going to be on the show. And I told Wade earlier, we're actually going to have Carrie from Dooney Acres on next week. I'm super excited to have her on. Her elderberry syrup is something I swear by. She helped me through a crazy case of something a few months back, like in February, and she made a cough elixir just for little old me, and it worked so well that she ended up adding it to her line of products. So we're excited to have her on. She's going to tell us how she does what she does, and I promise you, it's nothing short of amazing. So make sure you tune in next week. Again, share this video so that you can give Fowlers a little bit of an extra push. We want to see Fowlers, everybody going there, of course, as social distance safety, but we want to see them open with a big bang. So make sure you tell everybody Fowlers is coming back like a phoenix. And Wade, once again, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks. It was fun.
It was fun.
I missed you on the radio show.
I know. I miss you too. I just miss you. I can't even say anything else. I miss the whole yin and yang that we have. So it's awesome to reunite, for even if it's just for today. And guys, Thanks again.
By the way, if I can mention the radio show real quick, one of the things that we've done since there's really not much anything going on because of COVID, we've really been talking about cooking a lot. And the show may morph into what's cooking.
Nice.
And I'll be talking to different restaurant people, but also just talking recipes, talking cooking techniques, talking cooking utensils that are handy, stuff like that. They're coming up, and I've been having to do it from home on the phone with Wes. But once we can get back in the studio and live stream again, it'll be live stream, so you'll be able to see the stuff and everything as well.
Nice. Now I'm going to have to tune in for that because, like I said, Wade is like an undercover chef. Like, I don't think everybody knows exactly what he can do in the kitchen. So I can't wait to see that. And also to highlight some of our restaurants. So that's an amazing, I love it. What's cooking? So is it going to be What's Cooking Fayetteville?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like it. I like it. So you guys stay tuned for any announcements on that. You can follow facebook.com/WIDU 1600 AM. And I'm sure they will post announcements once that happens. And also watch for Fowlers because I'm sure, or watch Wade because I'm sure he'll share it as well.
Yeah, it'll be all over my Facebook.
Okay,
which
cool.
Is just Wade Fowler. So.
And you can't miss him. And don't forget, follow Wade on Instagram. We baby stepped him into Instagram and now he's totally dominating. I'm like loving your images. That's how I found out about the homemade bacon. So make sure you guys follow Wade and we'll see you next Saturday. Say bye, Wade.
Bye, Wade.
Bye, guys.
That was my dad joke for you. It's the best I could do.